Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. On the road to 2K. We just passed up that 1,500 mark. Well on our way to 1,600, man. So shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob for making this possible. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I wanted to get into after a live that I had put together last night, man. If y'all did not catch the live last night, go check it out. It was a solid live, man. We got to talking about Errol Spence and exactly what was going on with his situation, along with Subrel Matias continuously calling out the 140-pound division. You know what I mean? So go check it out. But this is going to be an extension about the whole Errol Spence situation and exactly what's going on with him. If you haven't been catching up with Errol Spence, apparently he just got surgery on his eye for cataracts yesterday, the day before yesterday. I'm not sure, but he posted it yesterday, right? So he went on to say, after posting that was a problem that he had been having for a while. And let's see. He said this is something that he's been having before the Terence Crawford fight. Why do you think he got hit with so many jabs and left hooks? You know what I'm saying? So there's been a lot of talk about that. But I haven't heard anybody have the opinion that I have on the situation. Being somebody who's experienced in the pro boxing world and just boxing in general, man, it's kind of weird to me how Errol Spence was able to pass by the doctors with that type of situation. When you have cataracts, that's something that easily could be picked up on. You know what I mean? It's something that's very obvious. It's film in the eye. You won't even necessarily need to do an eye test in order to see this. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you could just plainly look at and just see that there's something going on with the eye. With that being the case, that's something that he said himself has been going on since before the Terence Crawford fight. How did the commission allow that to happen? How did they allow him to do that when in previous bouts, when he had a detached retina, they did not allow him to fight Manny Pacquiao? So how is it that he was able to get past the test with the doctors with cataracts in his eye? It's very interesting. You know what I mean? Either a doctor over there is not doing their job or Errol Spence is lying. You know what I mean? I'm going to just keep it plain and simple because commissions are very strict with these tests. You know what I mean? Especially at an elite level because they don't want to take responsibility for anything that may happen to a fighter in a negative sense. You know what I mean? If they lose their vision or if they may possibly have like a, let's say, worst case scenario, they might end up passing away. They might end up catching like a life-threatening injury or whatever. They don't want to take that type of responsibility. So what they do is they test them in the most detailed ways possible. Now they're doing brain scans. They checking for aneurysms. They checking for detached retinas. All of that. And Errol Spence has been caught with a detached retina before, and they did not allow him to pursue the Manny Pacquiao fight. And that was a big, lucrative fight for Errol Spence. So I don't see how they would allow him to go into a fight with Terence Crawford, which is also a big, lucrative fight with cataracts. You know what I mean? I honestly believe that he's not being truthful. You know what I mean? And if he did have cataracts and ended up being developed after the Terence Crawford fight, just being honest with you. Now, if you honestly want to know what I really think about this situation, I honestly think that he had another retina issue. I think that Errol Spence developed another retina issue after the Terence Crawford fight. With all the punishment that he accumulated, it's not far-fetched to believe that he probably detached his retina again. You know what I mean? That's not far-fetched at all. And what will give me confirmation is if he ends up fighting for if this fight with Terence Crawford takes place in a different setting. From what I understand, I believe the fight first took place in Las Vegas. Now, if they end up relocating it and doing it in another state or area or whatever, that's going to give me all the confirmation I pretty much need to know because with him having a detached retina, it's highly doubtful that Las Vegas would approve that fight with Terence Crawford again. You know what I mean? So it's just very funny to me, man. It don't really make sense because either way, something's wrong. Like if they allowed him to fight with cataracts going into the Terence Crawford fight, then the commission's not doing their job and really taking their fighter safety into consideration. And if that's not what it is, then Errol Spence is not being truthful about the situation. He may be capping. And I find it funny that according to the research that I have done and people have confirmed on it, he ended up getting cataracts in the same eye that his retina was detached in. Real funny. You know what I mean? Real funny. I believe it was the right eye. I might have to do my research on it again. I could be wrong. But from what people have gathered coming to the channel and speaking to me, they said it was the same eye. So I honestly believe, if you asking me, and there ain't no disrespect to Errol Spence Jr. or anything like that. He probably don't want people to be worried or people not to buy into the rematch because they see that he has a recurrent injury in his retina. You know what I'm saying? But if you asking me, I think that he suffered another detached retina against Terence Crawford. That's just what I personally believe. These things can happen. Like we seen Yordanis Ugas. Errol Spence broke his orbital bone, and then he took the time to heal and go through a whole training camp. Then he fight Mario Barrios, and the same injury occurs. So some things, unfortunately, become recurring. There's things that you can't get out of the way of. Once you break something, it may not ever be the same. You know what I mean? Once you injure something, it may not ever be the same. I'm sure we all have had nagging injuries that we had at one point that never seem to go away or find its way back into the picture after not being around for a while. These things happen. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion. Errol the Truth, Spence Jr. doesn't seem to be truthful in this situation. You know what I mean? He gave Terence Crawford his props. You know what I mean? He was being realistic about him being fighter of the year. He said that he wasn't exactly living the fighter lifestyle. That apparently it's been this was supposed to been happen. You know what I mean? He said he wasn't always living the boxer lifestyle. But in regards to the eye situation, I don't think it was cataracts. I don't think the commission would have allowed that to happen. I think that this was another retina injury. And if he did have cataracts, like I said, it did not happen before the Terence Crawford fight. So that wouldn't be a legitimate excuse as to why he was getting hit by Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? If that was a problem, then it happened after the Terence Crawford fight. But that's just my opinion. That's my take on the situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think that Errol Spence is telling the truth? Do you think he's being untruthful? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. That's my take on the whole situation. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back on the live later on tonight. I'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.